What's going on, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about whether or not it's worth it to own a G35 long term. So I'll be going over some of the pros and cons that I've had owning my car and give you an ownership experience since I've owned my car for about 70,000 miles. My car does have about 190,000 miles on it, so it does qualify for a long-term review. I could have waited longer, but why not now? So some of the pros of this car are that even at 190,000 miles, it still drives relatively good. It's still very reliable, and interior still looks pretty good, as you can see. It's held up pretty well for the amount of miles that it has on it. But let's talk about some of the mechanical things, some of the maintenance. What have I dealt with up until this point? So I want to say the worst thing that I've probably had to deal with was changing the clutch, and that's still just general maintenance. So I changed the clutch around 155,000 miles. So other than that, I've had to change the radiator and my alternator. So I mean, it hasn't really been an unreliable car at all. It's actually been very reliable. One of the cons of this car though at 190,000 miles is that it does still burn oil. And one way around this is just to make sure you get a car with the oil consumption fixed. That'll prevent you having any long-term problems out of the motor for the most part. But if you do get one of these, just make sure it has the oil consumption fixed. And that was my fender rubbing. Yeah, so like I said, if you do get one of these, just make sure you find one that has had the oil consumption fixed. I have a 6-speed manual, and manuals in these cars are pretty good. So I would go for that if you could. And other than that, I mean, everything else is up to you. But this is my 04 G35. It does have a few things done to it. Has rims. Those are 20-inch XIXs, 9.5s in the front, or 9s in the front and 10.5s in the back. Have a resonator and muffler delete, which I'm pretty sure you could hear, and a DC sport intake. So I mean, just walk around and show y'all a few of the problem areas on my car. I mean, it's a few scratches on this door. I don't know if y'all can see them. It's a few scratches though. And then worst part of this car is the front bumper. I mean, has a scratch right up here. You can see it pretty good. The front bumper. And then on this side, someone fell off a scooter and hit my car, so that's great. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all that's wrong with this car cosmetically. I have done a pretty good job of keeping up with it. So let me show y'all the interior. What's wrong with the interior? See that rip in the seat on the driver's seat? And other than that, the door panel and the back seat. My car is very dirty right now. I need to clean it. So I'm sorry about that, but this door panel is coming undone, or just a little cushion around it. Just needs to be glued back in and sewed in. It's not really a big deal. That's pretty much all that's wrong with the interior. If you're considering buying one of these and keeping it long term, then this is definitely a great option. It's a great daily driver. I don't really have many problems out of it, so if you're looking for something that's just like super fast, then this is not the car for you. I mean, unless you plan on putting some money into it, but at that point, then it'll probably be worth getting something that's a better platform to begin with. If you're just looking for a good all-around car, the good aftermarket, and this is definitely it for you. One thing to note about these is they do sit on the same platform as a 350Z, so even if you're looking at a coupe or a sedan, most of the parts are interchangeable. That'll just about do it for this video. If you want to know more about G35s or just VQ motors or platforms in general, give this video a like, comment below what you think, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see y'all on the next one.